Hello, everybody. My name is Charlie Heaps. I'm a senior scientist at the Stockholm Environment Institute, and I've been asked to talk to you about a new open source emissions model for Africa that was developed during the integrated assessment of air pollution and climate change for Africa. Published in 2022, the assessment was commissioned by UNEP, CCAC, and the African Union. The assessment projected emissions under a baseline scenario and also examined 37 measures for abating emissions over the period 2020 to 2063. The assessment looked at the benefits of avoided emissions, and those were assessed in terms of their climate benefits, for example, temperature change, rainfall, avoided desertification, and also human health, primarily looking at avoided premature mortality. And the study also examined various indicators of energy and development. The study looked at 37 different measures for avoiding emissions. All of the measures are technically feasible and most are already being implemented to some extent in Africa, but most of them need to be scaled up to harness their full potential. Many of the measures were energy related in the transport, residential, and energy supply sectors, but we also looked at measures in the agriculture and solid waste disposal sectors. In terms of air pollution, the assessment found that by implementing the measures, as many as 200,000 premature deaths could be avoided in 2030, rising to almost 900,000 by 2063. While the climate in Africa is largely governed by global emissions, the assessment indicates that emissions reductions in Africa could lead to reduced desertification and improved security and other social and economic benefits. And you can see some charts down there showing some of the changes in terms of temperature and mean precipitation relative to the baseline scenario. Now, what I would like to focus on is one of the key outputs of the assessment, which is a new open source model for Africa. The model looks at the whole of the African continent, but has national scale resolution. So it's able to produce results for 54 countries across those three scenarios. Results can be shown for Africa as a whole, for individual countries, or for any country grouping. The model includes historical data from 2000 to 2020 and also includes results from three scenarios for the period 2021 to 2063. The model includes detailed bottom-up analysis in the household, transport, and electricity generation sector, but other sectors are modeled in more aggregate fashion. The modeling was implemented primarily in SEI's LEAP framework. LEAP stands for the Low Emissions Analysis Platform, and also includes results that were generated from external modeling, particularly on topics related to agriculture and climate and air pollution impacts. The model provides a comprehensive overview of all greenhouse gases and all short-lived climate pollutant emissions for Africa, and can easily be split up into individual models for each of the 54 African nations. The modeling draws primarily on international sources of data. I'm afraid we didn't have time to do detailed data collection in individual countries. The model as it stands currently is intended as a starter model. That is, it's available to anyone to improve, for example, with better national data or improved methods. SEI are planning a second version of the model for later this year with updated data, improved methods, and links to a new cloud data server that will support automation of updates. The model itself is open source and it can be accessed directly within the LEAP software system. So I should mention what LEAP is. LEAP is an easy to use Windows-based tool for energy planning, greenhouse gas mitigation analysis, and air pollution abatement planning. LEAP has been applied in almost every country, and at least 65 countries have used LEAP to help develop their NDCs. You can see what it looks like over there on the right-hand part of the screen. LEAP is free to use for non-profit, academic and government agencies based in low and middle income countries, and also it's free for most small island developing states. So how do you get access to LEAP and the Africa model? You can download LEAP from the address here. You will need a username and password to fully enable the software, but that's provided to licensed users, and you can apply for a license very easily online on the LEAP website. The Africa model is accessed directly from within LEAP. So once you've loaded up LEAP, there's a simple menu option to download the Africa model. Please do check the LEAP website and the LEAP LinkedIn group for news of training workshops. We're planning an in-depth training on LEAP and the new Africa model for the third quarter of 2025. So please check the LEAP website for announcements about that. That's everything from me for now. Here's a couple of QR codes so that you can access LEAP and the Africa model or the integrated assessment. Thanks very much for your time.